Hey. Thanks for coming by the show. My name is Jamie Waring, the host of the Social Mind Show. And this is our first time airing, so I just thank everybody for the privilege of your time. And this show here will consist of things that is going on a global scale, things from national events here in the homeland and things overseas, dealing with things on a global platform. What we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and start her off. You're going to have to excuse me just a little bit, just bear with me, because my first time doing it as far as the actual news platform, and we're going to have to do, since we're using Google+, we're going to have to go back and forth a little bit with the screen sharing, so just bear with me. All right, here we're going to start off first with, and of course, I'm just going to lay it out. We're going to be going from different formats. I have 4 topics I'll be covering today, from technology to criminal to sports to politics. So here we go. Okay, the first thing we're going to cover here is technology, and the first thing that has popped up this week is Apple has come up with a new app, not a new device. A lot of people, they're looking for the iPhone 6, but it wasn't the iPhone 6. It was a new way to pay your bills. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and look at a little video here from Apple Pay. So here we go. Try this again, go back. Oh, here you go. All right. Bam.
On Tuesday, Apple announced the new Apple Pay, a way to make your wallet obsolete, I guess they hope. Apple's teamed up with MasterCard, Visa, and American Express to allow you to store your credit card information on your phone and pay with it. But while it sounds convenient, questions of safety and security have been raised. We're here with Sherry Hammond of MasterCard to discuss. So, Sherry, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, first of all, is this safe? I mean, how does it compare to the security people are used to with the MagStripe?
Sure, this is really, really safe. So what we're doing is actually using the same security that we use for chip and PIN cards, which we're migrating the industry to right now. It takes advantage of something called EMV security, and it secures the transaction with some dynamic data, like a code number that only either MasterCard or the issuer can unlock.
So just to confirm, it's essentially the same technology as chip and PIN. It is not the same as a MagStripe.
It's the exact same technology as chip and PIN.
Okay, so what happens if your phone's stolen or lost? I'm sure that's something people would be nervous about.
Sure, so what's great about this service and our MasterCard Digital Enablement Service that's powering it is that we have the ability to shut off the token. So when we send over the data to Apple to put onto your phone, we don't send over the real card number. We send over a fake 16-digit number called a token, and then we're able to just eliminate that token and shut it off, and then you won't have to replace your plastic card.
Okay, and then what about in terms of other security or safety? What are you and Apple doing in order to ensure that people don't experience fraud or identity theft with this digital wallet? Because I'm sure a lot of people are nervous after the iCloud hacking of the celeb photos.
Sure, there's a number of things. So first of all, as I mentioned, we send over a fake number to Apple. They store it in a secure place on the phone called the secure element. The second thing is that when you use your phone at the point of sale, it's protected by this EMV technology that I mentioned before, that unique code that only the issuer or MasterCard can unlock. And third, every transaction is a genuine, regular MasterCard transaction, protected by all of the rights and benefits that come with a MasterCard transaction, such as our zero liability protection.
Yahoo! Yeah. All right. Well, that was one thing that a lot of people are pretty looking forward to. Another way to pay for items instantly, and I guess just to make things more convenient versus pulling out your wallet and paying for cash. I do note that that is a bit more secure, and you don't have to worry about people hacking your account and finding out what your password is and your information and personal things like that. But hey, if people like it, you know, Apple, they are a company that is supply and demand, and people obviously are demanding it, so they feel more comfortable with using their product to pay their bills. And that's about it for that, and we're going to go ahead and move to the next thing. The next item on the agenda here is to talk a little bit about the hacking of iCloud. And we all have heard about that for the last couple of weeks now. if I'm not mistaken. That happened on September the 2nd. Celebrities like Jennifer Lawrence, Becca Tobin, and Kate Upton, they uploaded some videos of them in a pretty bit of a discreet situation. Basically, they were nude, and they wanted to save some pictures, and they put it to iCloud. And iCloud is basically a way to save your pics, save your information, back up your information on your computer, and you're not using the storage on your actual device or your hard drive. You're using iCloud. You're using the storage that is basically up in the air. So, in all honesty, when it's hacked, anybody can view it. So, but Apple has said that they are not responsible for the hacking itself. The people that were hacked, and there are more celebrities than the ones that I just named. These are people that I just named here in general, and just as an example. Apple has said that the hackers did not hack Apple, but they actually hacked the individual personal. They actually focused on certain people and their information and hacked them. So Apple says we are not liable and we will not be held accountable. So what we'll do, we're just going to go ahead and run to a quick video right quick and see really what that was all about.
Head and Shoulders Advanced Thickening Tonic with caffeine and vitamins locks in the and gives you 2 times thicker, fuller looking hair. A little bit of
advertising, so just bear with us.
Head and Shoulders Full and Thick Collection.
Apple coming out with a statement in the wake of an FBI probe of reports hackers used the company's iCloud service to illegally access nude photos of actress Jennifer Lawrence and other celebrities. Our senior markets correspondent Julie Hyman has those details. Julie?
Well, initially, Mark, Apple came out with a very brief statement just saying that it was probing this activity. Now it has a more extensive statement saying after more than 40 hours of investigation, there was no systems breach. In other words, Apple servers were not breached, for example. And how did this attack happen? Well, Apple says, we've discovered that certain celebrity accounts were compromised by a very targeted attack on usernames, passwords, and security questions, a practice that has become all too common on the internet. Again, none of the cases that Apple investigated, it says, resulted from any breach in any of Apple's systems, including iCloud or Find My iPhone. That was something that earlier reports had sort of theorized about how exactly this happened. Apple says it's continuing to work with law enforcement to help identify the criminals involved, and Apple also encourages users to use what they say is a strong password and also to enable two-step verification to try to prevent this. So in some cases, what the hackers will do will basically try a series of different passwords until they hit upon the right one. So this might have been one of the tactics that they used in this particular case. But again, here Apple saying that its systems did not fail and were not breached in these cases.
All right, that is the situation over there, what's going on with Apple and the iCloud and people being hacked. I say personally myself, I wonder if the convenience trumps security. And we've already had situations dealing with things 2 years ago, and we're not really going to get into that, but that's basically the question. Does security trump convenience? And some people are on either end there on the spectrum. I myself, I just question the whole thing. I mean, which one is more has the more precedent, convenience or privacy? All right, we're going to go ahead now and go from that, and we're going to go to the next topic at hand. It will be criminal things out here that's going on here in the States. And one thing that I do stress, okay, this is a show that's dealing basically with facts. We'll be like a news show here. These are things basically dealing with facts. These are not my opinions. These are things that are actually going on in the world. These are actual reports. So I just pick topics and I go from there. So we're going to shoot from there. We're going to go to criminal. And right now, the next thing we're going to talk about here is the Renisha McBride Theodore Wafer trial. Okay, what happened was Renisha McBride, she was drunk. She's a 19-year-old girl. She was drunk 2 times over the speed limit. I mean, yeah, she was 2 times drunk, and she was speeding, and obviously she got into a car accident. Well, you know, I can't really say she was speeding, but she was 2 times over the legal limit of driving, drinking, and she was driving. She was driving. She was in a suburb area. She got into an accident. 4 o'clock in the morning, and when she did, she was, obviously bewildered by what was going on, and being drunk. So she saw the first house that she saw, went to the first house that she saw, and she banged on the door, and this is what happened.
Theodore Wafer guilty of second-degree murder and manslaughter in the death of Renisha McBride.
He admitted to shooting and killing the 19-year-old woman on his front porch. He claimed he was afraid and that it was self-defense, but the jury didn't buy it. Fox 2's Erica Erickson live now with more on the verdict. Erica.
Oh, man, the moment that verdict was read, we saw a lot of tears, smiles, sighs of relief, mainly coming from family and friends of Renisha McBride. A lot of people following this case, many saying it could have gone either way, but talking with Renisha McBride's family, they say they knew Ted Wafer was going to be found guilty of murder all along.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Theodore Wafer, as follows. Count 1, murder in the second degree. Guilty of murder in the second degree. Count 2, manslaughter. Guilty of statutory manslaughter. Count 3, felony firearm. Guilty of felony firearm.
Gasps, tears, relieving tension in the Detroit courtroom. Jurors, attorneys, family of Renisha McBride have spent almost 3 weeks in.
It was overwhelming. I kept the faith, and I stayed positive. Also did Renisha's father. He just kept telling me, it's going to happen.
Ted Wafer sitting silent, emotionless Thursday after a day and a half of deliberations, found guilty of murdering 19-year-old Renisha McBride on his front porch last November when she went to his house for help.
He said he was mad, and he came to the door with the shotgun, and he shot her.
Ted Wafer, I knew it. I just wish she would have called the police. I would rather her be behind bars than a place where I would never see her again.
Renisha's mother hugging prosecuting attorneys, thanking them.
Her life mattered, and we showed that.
While Wafer's defense attorney, Cheryl Carpenter, had nothing to say. Off camera, others of the defense team tell Fox 2 they're devastated, along with Theodore Wafer, who is now awaiting sentencing. While Renisha McBride's family says they pray he gets the maximum sentence and believe he will.
That was no accident. That was not self-defense. He did murder.
And justice was served today.
Yes, it was.
They say Renisha McBride can finally rest in peace.
All right, that's where we are at as far as dealing with that. That was a pretty grueling situation. A young lady murdered, or I won't say murder. I'm going to use the word kill. Well, I mean, he was found guilty of second-degree murder, so she was murdered. Second count he was charged with was manslaughter. Third count, felony firearm. So that was a grueling situation, and nobody on either end, I'm sure, wanted the situation to go down like that. Of course, you heard the sister say she'd rather had been, locked up for, driving drunk versus, I'm pretty sure anybody would want that versus a family member dying in any type of fashion, way, or form. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move to the next thing. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the Ferguson trial. What happened in Ferguson, Missouri. Now, this is stemmed from the Michael Brown shooting. Darren Wilson, police officer, shot Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri after he, I can't say, well, I have to use the term alleged because they have not gone to court yet. Right now, there's a grand jury that's being held right now to see if their indictment will be called for or will be, how do I say this? I apologize. To see if an indictment, and see if he will be indicted so that a warrant will be issued for his arrest and he'll be brought in and a trial will start. It is alleged because right now nobody hasn't gone to court yet. Darren Wilson has not made a comment. Nobody has not seen him or talked to him right now. I wouldn't say he's in hiding, but he's somewhere and he has not given a statement about anything or about what happened. But they're only going by eyewitnesses, and the most common eyewitness account is the fact that he had his hands up and he was shot. And it's allegedly after he was in a store and he stole 5 packs of cigars and he pushed somebody he pushed the store out of the way and went out of the store, and a call was called in, felony robbery, and that's why allegedly he was stopped in the street, and there was a tussle. Obviously, something happened. He started to run. There, in the autopsy states it states that he was shot. He was shot 6 times, and there was an actual shot on top of the head, one couple in the arm, and 2 down his lower torso. And the way the bullets went in and ejected out and went to his torso. And that's the main facts that we have right now. But what we're going to go ahead and do is go to, and this is what it stems from. But right now, Eric Holder, the Attorney General of the United States, is holding a civil investigation. And we're going to go ahead and we will go to that right now. And this is actually what's going on. Aaron Holder is launching a civil investigation. The Justice Department is to open a wide-ranging civil rights investigation in the practices of the Ferguson, Missouri Police Department. They will look into the past few years, including patterns of stops, arrests, use of force, as well as training of officers. Eric Holder did go to Ferguson after there were protests and there were altercations, there was looting, there was shootings, and the police gathered in force, and they went military style into the community to get things together. But after all that was said and done, and they're still doing protests, Eric Holder went to Ferguson, Missouri, to talk to the family of Michael Brown, and he sympathized with them, and he let them know that he also has personal experiences of being mistreated by the police. And what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to go ahead and run to a quick video here of Eric Holder.
Open an investigation to, we have determined that there's cause for the Justice Department to open an investigation to determine whether Ferguson police officials have engaged in a pattern or practice of violations of the United States Constitution or federal law. This investigation will be carried out by a team from the Civil Rights Division Special Litigation Section, some of the same dedicated professionals who have achieved really historic results in ensuring constitutional policing from coast to coast.
Oops. Yep, that's where we're at as far as that's concerned. Yeah, I can't really explain it any better than that. You see the actual reports. I read the reports, and you actually heard what the man himself, Eric Holder, first Black Attorney General of the United States.
My fellow Americans.
Oh, dear Lord.
Tonight I want to speak to you about what the United States...
Oh, I apologize about that, guys. I'm getting some things together here. And also, give me one moment here. We have to run to YouTube here and make sure that if anybody is tracking us, they can see what is actually going on right now. We can answer everything via YouTube. So give me one moment here. There's a possibility because we actually did not. We just made this event. We didn't plan it as a live hangout on air. This is, basically, I kind of planned it wrong. What I should have done, I should have made this an actual live hangout. I should have planned it as a live hangout on air. So I apologize, people out there who's not able to see this on YouTube. But I'm sure right now we are being followed. Yep, we are being followed right now on our. We're being followed right now on Google. So anybody who has any questions that they'd like to ask, we can also do it here on. We can do it here through the Google Plus Hangouts and questions and answers. But we have yet to have any questions right now being asked. So we're just waiting on that to see if anybody has. If you have any questions you would like to ask while I'm actually airing the show, you can ask. Like I said, once again, through Google, and also through YouTube. And we're going to go ahead and keep it moving and move right along here. We're going to got one more case here dealing with the criminal case, and this one here is a little more somber than the other ones. I know the other ones are debatable, but this one here is pretty solid and on point, and also it is a little, and not a little, it's a bit disturbing. We have a South Carolina man here that was found did something pretty darn horrible, and he is from South Carolina. Hold on, give us 1 second to pull it up here for you guys. Okay, this is South Carolina man, Mr. Timothy Ray Jones. He had 5 children ranging from 1 to 8, and this, I don't really know if I can call him a man. I really want to say thing, but I want to stay objective here because I'm not giving my personal opinion here. This is a news broadcasting show, and all we're doing here is giving facts and giving reports of actually what's going on. Okay, Mr. Timothy Ray Jones. On September 9th, he's the resident of South Carolina. He led investigators to the remains of his 5 children, aging from 1 to 8. They were 5 garbage bags that were near a Royal, Alabama road on a wooded hilltop, about 20 miles from Interstate 5. And as you can read here for yourself, this man killed 5 of his children, and he bagged them up, and he drove countless miles, 500 miles to Alabama, where he's originally from, and to get rid of his children. But he was at a traffic stop, a DUI traffic stop checkpoint in Mississippi, and he was using bleach to try to cover up the smell of the rotten flesh of his children that were in his SUV, and he used bleach to try to cover up the smell. After he got rid of the children, or after he took the children out and put them on that wooded hilltop, he was at a checkpoint. The police officer smelled a really bad smell, and he basically admitted to what he did. And now he's being extradited from Mississippi back here to South Carolina. That's where I'm from. That's where we're broadcasting from, here in South Carolina. And he'll be waiting to stand trial. He admitted to what he did. He viciously murdered his 5 babies. The motive is yet to be determined, and it's a real ugly situation. And hopefully, if the parents or family, if anybody sees this, I don't know if they will or not, I give my condolences to the family, because that's got to be something that you can only imagine, the hurt that they feel, and oh my God, just the hurt, and I just give you my condolences. I am sorry for your loss. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on, and now we're gonna move to something that is a bit more debatable with a lot of people. Next, we are going to sports. Now, of course, first we're going to start off on a good note, so people can be a little bit excited, and then I'm going to draw you in and get you all excited and bam, hit you with the big one. All right, first and foremost, we have the Chiefs versus the Broncos today. We have the Cowboys versus the Titans today. We have the Falcons versus the Bengals today. We have the Patriots versus the Vikings, the Panthers versus the Lions, and the Jets versus the Packers. It is a big weekend here for gaming for the NFL. It is week 2 in the season. And a lot of good things. There are a lot of good things that are going on right now in the NFL. And some games are already over. Some games are already passed. Right now, the Chiefs and the Broncos are playing right now. And the Dallas Cowboys and the Tennessee Titans are 26-10. The Cowboys are winning right now. The Chiefs are at 10, and the Broncos are at 21. Fourth quarter and 12 minutes left to go. I guess we'll see who will win. It's still anybody's game. But okay, we're going to go ahead and go from the games to actual other things in sports, because it's dealing with sports. We're going to go to Mr. Adrian Peterson of the Minnesota Vikings. He was indicted. They put out a warrant for him, and yesterday he turned himself in on a charge of injury to a child. We're going to run right quick to the actual report itself and let you guys get a gander for yourself. Yep, here we are.
Big story hitting another NFL player, this time with regard to Minnesota Vikings star running back Adrian Peterson. We have learned through our local NBC affiliate in North Montgomery County, Texas, that Peterson has been charged by local authorities. NBC's Houston affiliate KPRC is reporting, citing sources, that Peterson is charged with injury to a child. Legal representatives of Peterson say that a statement from them will be out later on today. We have reached out to the NFL, also the Minnesota Vikings, and law enforcement officials in the Montgomery County, Texas area for comment. We have yet to hear any comments back from any of those parties. Again, all of this coming at a time when the NFL is still dealing with the Ray Rice domestic abuse situation and the subsequent investigation that's happening with regard to when the league found out about it and what they knew and when. So again, Melissa, just another issue right now with the NFL, this time with star Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson. We'll obviously bring in more details as they become available to us here.
But yep, that's where we're at dealing with that as far as sports is concerned. I know for some of you that's a debatable issue because he's charged with injury to a child. What is alleged is that he used a switch on his kid and he beat his 4-year-old child, and there was whelps, there was bruises on his back, on his front, excuse me, even on his private area. I know some people say, well, I was beaten as a child myself, and I have to admit, me myself first, I've been beaten with a switch myself. But we don't know the actual facts just yet as far as the motivation, the motivating factor, and why he beat his child. Every parent has a privilege to beat, discipline a child any way they feel fit, but obviously the authorities down there in Minnesota thought he went overboard, and there will be a trial, and we will find out what happened. But one good thing, he did turn himself in on yesterday. Most likely he's probably out on bail. I'm not sure yet exactly what the details are on that. Okay, moving on. We are going to go to something that everybody and their mother knows about, and it's something that's been airing over and over and over. Fox said for the last few days it's been a leading story, and they're getting tired of it. To be honest with you, a lot of other news stations are getting a bit tired of it, you know, the continual airing of it, the continual talking about. But it is a big case, and it's a big controversy, and I know all you can guess what it is. It is the Ray Rice situation. What we're going to go ahead and do, some people may not be agreeable with this, but we're going to go ahead and show it because it is actual footage. It's news. People need to see. People need to know. We're going to go to the actual footage of Ray Rice and his fiancée at the time, Janine, I'm so sorry, Janine Rice. But now they are married. But we're going to go ahead and just go to the footage right quick so you guys can see for yourself. Hold on, let's reload here for a minute.